What's up, y'all? It's your girl Misha from A Moment with Misha, and we're back again, once again, blessed again to be here and do another episode. And I'm so grateful to have this funny young man from College Hill. I think it was season 4, Willie Mac. I so appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's funny that you say young man, even though College Hill was a long time ago. I almost feel like an old man now.
No, how long?
I did College Hill in 2007.
Oh, you
Yeah,
still young. You as young as you feel.
I am as young as I feel. That is very true. But it's crazy because they brought College Hill back. Like it's on Hulu now, Paramount Plus, and like it's like I'm getting all these, I guess, new followers from just people who are just now discovering College Hill and me and everything that I'm doing. So it is super cool.
Oh, good. So speaking of College Hill, like I know you were on the Virgin Islands season. Like, so how did you even hear about it? Did you watch the seasons prior and was like, oh, let me go see what this about, or how did that happen?
No, I really didn't watch the seasons before. My girlfriend at the time, she was really big into College Hill, and but I did another show called "So You Want to Date My Sister,"
Oh,
Sistah, and it was one of those crazy game shows where three guys competed for the heart of this female, and we had and these brothers are the family members made you go through all these jump ropes or like all these hoops to date their
right.
sister. So do you want to date my sister? And whoever won the competitions got to win the date. But there were three guys that she was interested in. It wasn't like it was like some type of arranged marriage type of situation. So the producers from that show also produced College Hill. And they were like, Willie, you're really funny, man. We're doing this other project called College Hill. If you're interested in it, let us know, and we would love to have you. We'll have you audition, and yeah, the rest is history.
Right. So you did you have to audition, or it was like, or they were like, oh no, we're fine. We don't need you to audition. You're just gonna be on the show.
I still had to audition because even though those people were sold on me, there was still like maybe like five other people that was like, okay, we understand y'all think he's good, but we need to see him for ourselves. So I still had to audition.
Got you. So, and how long were you guys in the house for? Like, was it like a couple months, couple weeks?
We were in the house for 2 months. We shot for 3 months, and we were in the Virgin Islands for 3 months, but we only shot for 2 of those months.
Got you. So, question, during the time, do they pay for your schooling, or like, do they pay like groceries, or
They
you
paid
just all
for
on your own?
No, they paid for all of our groceries. They paid for the semester of school that we enrolled there, and then they stayed supplying us with alcohol, so there was never a shortage. There was never a shortage of that, and yeah. But yeah, it was a dope little experience. I actually miss my College Hill family. I think about them all the time. I be like, man, what's JT up to? What's Adisha and Vanessa up to?
So, my next question was gonna be like, who do you talk to now? Like, do you keep in touch with any of them now?
We have a College Hill group chat, but it has all the seasons of College Hills on there, and we all just
Oh, okay.
chop it up. But it's very rare that we're in it. It's maybe like once a month they'll see something on somebody's page and comment on it, and then but I if I had if I was asked who I talk to the most, it's probably Vanessa.
Really?
And that was Vanessa was my girl. Even on that show, like we hung out like tough. I'm like, I got like pictures of how cool me and Vanessa are. But I'm gonna show you the photos as you're asking me questions, so you will.
Okay, cool. Because I know you had a crush on Vanessa, but she had a boo on the show.
Ha,
Well, he wasn't on the show, but she had a boo.
she had a little boo thing, but I like to flirt. I'm a flirt.
Okay.
I'm that dude. And it was always like safe flirting though. It's like if she was
Mhm.
uncomfortable with it, I was like, all right, all right. But Vanessa liked to be flirted with. You saw how Vanessa was.
Yeah.
She was flirtatious herself. She flirted back. It wasn't like it was just a one-way street. She would tease. She
Mhm.
like she'd be like, Willie. Like someone asked, it was an interview a long time, obviously a long time ago. Someone said, "Why did nobody try to hook up with Willie?" And they
That's
were
not
like,
true. You and what's her name? Rachel.
"Yeah," but they were talking about the cast
Oh, the
members,
cast. Okay.
and they were like, "Well, Willie is too goofy. If Willie was a little bit more serious,
Mm.
it might have been different." But Willie is a really goofy dude. But that's how I always been. I always
Right.
like, where's my lens?
There you
Yeah,
go.
me.
Aw.
Yeah, our old school us.
Aw.
Right? That was me and Vanessa kicked it after the show was over. Like even now, like I'm starting to travel doing stand up, and
Mhm.
when I get my, she was like, you gotta come to. She lives in Florida now, so she's like, you gotta come to Florida. I miss you and all this other stuff. So I am trying to schedule my tour date and have a date down in Florida where she lives and link up with her.
When you gonna come to the D? The
Detroit.
313.
The 313. I'm just going through all my photos of me and Vanessa. I'm on my Instagram right now. Like that's me, Vanessa, and Neo. Right there.
Oh. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so happy that y'all still keep in contact. That's what's up.
Yeah, like I said, man, that because I feel like we were the most popular people on that series. Vanessa was popular and we was popular because we were like probably two of the ones that like I guess kept it real the most.
Mm.
So yeah, that's my little boo thing.
Good. But don't skip by you coming to the like when you coming to the D, like when that's
I
happening.
need to make that happen quick because I have family up, not really in Detroit. It's more like
Mm.
Lansing and Grand Rapids.
That
Uh,
still count. That still count.
that still
That
count.
still count. They still count.
Well,
That's
then
it.
it has to be soon. I'm busy filming right now.
Oh.
I'm shooting a HGTV show. Uh,
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, so the money that I made in stand, I'm actually looking for this other photo, the real photo that I wanted to show you of me and Vanessa. So I'm still like scrolling on looking
Mm-hmm.
for that. So it's not like, oh, is he on his phone being rude and
No, I know exactly what you're doing. You're fine.
well, the money that I made in commercials and stand up, I took back home because I'm from St. Louis. I took
Mm-hmm.
back to St. Louis and I bought a bunch of properties. And HGTV caught wind of that, me because my little brother he does construction and he's a real estate agent. So
Okay.
they were like, man, come bring y'all selves to HGTV because you know HGTV went through a little bit of whatever because they were like, where are all the black people? And then so they put us in a position to where I can't find the photo.
That's
So
fine.
yeah, so we're currently filming our own HD TV show. It's called
That's
Flipping
what's up.
It to the Max, MACCS, our last names.
Oh, that's what's up. So
Yeah.
when is that supposed to be coming out? Like
Well,
2022?
we're still filming it. We'll be filming for a while because we got to film so many homes, and we're actually like working on these properties.
Mm.
And I'm actually gonna show you who my little brother is, so everybody it's like who's his little brother? So that's me and my brother.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, we're like I said, we're currently filming the show. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this because it definitely shows a different narrative for like people like us. There's black and
Mhm.
young. There's not because I was excited. I actually had an interview earlier where I was talking about just as a young black man, I'm showing other young black men that you don't have to be a music artist or an athlete or anything like that in order to make money. So when they see someone like me on the TV, they're like, "Oh snap, we can do that too." But back to your original question about coming to Detroit, I'm working on it. So once my schedule kind of settles down and I can have time to start putting dates back together and contacting comedy clubs, you are definitely gonna be there. I'm
definitely
the first person I'm hitting up. I'm like, hey, I'm in Detroit.
I'm excited. All my family coming. I'm so excited.
Sweet.
So I want to go back to College Hill just a little bit. So I went back and I watched some stuff because y'all was my favorite season. And what always made me like, I want to ask them, like, how did the Truth or Dare really happen like that on the first night?
Yeah,
like, y'all was wild.
They purposely casted us because they knew we were wild. So yeah, Truth or Dare, the first night that actually happened, everything, and there was more that happened that obviously they couldn't even show on TV.
Wow.
So yeah, they was like, we got to edit that out. We got to keep this at least R-rated.
So I want to play a game.
Okay.
So I want to say a name of the cast and you describe them in one word. Okay.
Gotcha.
So JT.
Ooh. Oh, this is an interesting game. Okay. JT in one word. Playboy.
Oh, okay.
The women liked JT. JT was always walking around with his shirt off, and he had that Compton swag and all of. And then a lot of women were like, he looked like Keith Sweat. And they was like, oh, we see Keith Sweat.
Okay. Cheeky.
Cheeky. One word, cheeky. Athlete. Cheeky was always betting us on, like, we had a basketball court in the back of our College Hill house. We had a pool table, and and I'm a gambler. So he would always be like, and I knew I could not beat him. But my competitive side was like, nah, man, today's the day. Every dog has his day. Like, today's I never beat Cheeky.
Uh-oh. But it's all right. It's all right. Is Andre?
Andre's instigator.
Ooh.
Andre was always in the middle of some shenanigans. He was the one that was telling the island cast, like, hey, they've been talking about you all and whatever. It's funny because now, even though I'm saying it like this, now we're all good friends. Even Crystal and Vanessa, even after that whole fight, people were like, man, we will never be friends with someone like that. Like Crystal and Vanessa talk in our chat, they joke and chat and all this other stuff, and they even just joke about that. They're like, oh my goodness, Crystal, if I have to answer one more question about you hitting me upside the head with that shit. But so yeah, that's Andres was he liked that he was a fire starter.
Idisha, one word.
Bestie. Idisha was my bestie. Funny, I'm gonna show you as I say all of this, I love showing photos because one is nostalgic for me. Like, I'd be like, man, I do remember when we were hanging out. Idisha was the one I would go and lay on Idisha's lap and just hang out with her. She was very maternal, I think is the right word. She was very nurturing. She was very, like, when everybody was upset, she would always try to either cool things down or whatever. She was like my best friend, Idisha. So yeah, that one right there was like my bestie.
Okay. Vanessa, you kind of talked about Vanessa already, but one word.
Vanessa is one word, my crush. She was my crush. I had a crush on her. She was so cool, and she had the right amount of just sexy about her. She flirted with me. Like, she was the one that, like, she was a female version of me. except for he wasn't as goofy. Like I was just a goofball the entire time. Idisha was goofy, but she was also like I'm passive aggressive. Like I like if something bothers me, I hold it in. I keep it down. But Vanessa, when something bothered her, oh, everybody
knew.
everybody heard about it. Like, what? You said what about me? Oh, bring in where we need to handle this at. I'd be like, nah, y'all just chill out. We cool. This is actually funny. Let me turn the volume up on this and show you this. So this is a promo they made of me and Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
It's that man. Willie Mac. It's Willie Mac. Some players have a lie. Willie Mac's got a look. Vanessa gives me that attention in a man. And the charm. I see a little bit. I just want a little bit of her little boutique.
Willie is really ridiculous. One day's after Vanessa, next day's after me.
She doesn't show Kristen. I could be the man that she needs.
Wow, that's crazy.
So like I was a full on flirt during that entire season, but it was playful. It was like it was one of those type of flirting that people never took me serious. Even if I was serious, no, everybody like, Willie, get out of here.
That's good. Who's next? Fallon.
What is one word for Fallon? That's a
Fallon was my favorite at first.
Really? Why?
That was like my homegirl, and then she kind of changed towards the end.
So that's, you know what, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to go through my list of just like vocabulary. Oh, this is the picture that I want to show. Me and Idisha, like we would just hang out and just chill and just like kick it. Like that was just the homie that we just did everything
together.
Yeah. Fallon. One word for Fallon. I don't know, man. Okay. I got just throw a word out there, Willie. She was I'm gonna say flavorful. When I say flavorful, she like you kind of like how you were like she had different sides of her. Mm-hmm. She had different flavors to who she was. She was either cool, sometimes she wasn't cool, sometimes she like it looked like she might have liked Andre, sometimes it looked like she might have liked JT. She was on the side, she liked the island, but maybe not the Islanders. So I said she had a lot going on. It was very beautiful.
Crystal.
Firecracker. Oh, Crystal was a firecracker. If something got under, she was easily sparked. She's calmed down a lot now, but at that time, if something rubbed her the wrong way, oh, that's why her and Vanessa got into it, because you know they both were fire starters. They both were firecrackers and very vocal. And sometimes it was things that, you know, you could have probably kept to yourself. Like, because you saying it out loud doesn't benefit the situation. It doesn't. Why do you need to tell them that this island is not a vacation spot, but it's just a stop on the way to the vacation spot? It's like, oh, you know that's gonna rub somebody wrong. That's like someone's like, well, how you feel about Detroit? It's like Detroit's all right. It's a good place to take a shit and keep on driving. It's like, oh snap! Oh, you talking about Detroit now? So
right.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. So talking about the fight in the moment, like what was in your mind, like in the moment once you see like Vanessa go past you? You think like, oh, she about to beat Crystal up, or you think, oh, they just about to argue?
See, I get asked this.
You and JT got hit trying to break that up.
We get asked that a lot. One of the things people talk about me about is they like, why you just didn't hold Vanessa back? Why you didn't just like keep holding her? Because like, you know, I put my arm out and then she like hit me in my stomach and I was like, all right, whatever. But it was more so we argued a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just gonna be one of those, I feel like a lot of females like to get in each other's faces when they're heated. Let me tell you about yourself and da 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 da. But a lot of times it doesn't necessarily escalate to a this and boom boom boom. It was like Crystal said something, then walked away. Vanessa went in there; she was gonna address it, and I did not. Not in a million years did I think that she was going to actually hit her or do anything like what went down.
Do you think the producers make the right choice to send Vanessa home?
I see why they sent her home, but me
Mm-hmm.
being a fan of Vanessa, no. I mean, I feel like I see why. I mean, there was blood everywhere. They argued a lot, and you don't know where this could have gone. And just insurance reasons, they did a good job for insurance reasons. Because if anything more would have happened, BET would have been sued and all this other stuff. So on a business side, I mean, it made sense. It's like you can't. I mean, any job. If you at your job right now, you get into a fight. If anything, both of y'all are fired. Like,
Right.
so this was no different, and it sucked. It sucked because obviously, as you saw in my video, I kind of had a crush on both of them, more so Vanessa.
Right.
But yeah.
Was it really beef between y'all and VI, or was it just kind of like a storyline that the producers were kind of just pushing?
It was a little bit of both, but the beef really did happen. College Hill was during an era of reality shows where it was really real. That was real blood. That was a real fight. Me and Cheeky really did get into it. Like, it wasn't like, hey, you all go up there and fight and argue and blah 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 blah. Now, did the producers help with these arguments? Yeah. What they call what they call producer influence. They made us play a game at a dinner. I don't even know if it aired or not. Maybe it did. Who FML?
Yeah, it did.
So they told us to play that game, but it was at a time where we was already. It was at a time where we was going to one St. John, and Crystal and Vanessa already got into it. Like, we already was arguing earlier that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we was on the boat and all this other stuff, and then it was dinner time, so we all went out to dinner. We actually was having a good dinner.
Okay.
We were having a great dinner. We were just eating. We talking of this and making jokes, and then the producers come by and it's like, hey, play FML amongst the cast members. Knowing that more than likely, because of all the tension, everybody would say they would kill Crystal. Now, Crystal being a firecracker, like, I would marry Willie, I would marry JT, I would marry, and I would kill Chris. I would kill Chris. And I would kill y'all too. That's why I'm like, oh, here we go. And so there was situations where things they teamed us up against each other, like when we was doing the treasure hunt on the island.
Mm-hmm.
They teamed us up obviously on purpose. They didn't let us choose our teams.
Right.
But they put us together to where the people who they think would have found it versus the people who might have needed the money versus blah, 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 blah. It was very strategic. They were messy. BET was very messy. It never happened, but they was trying to fly JT's girlfriend and put her as a cast member after he messed around with Idisha and all of that other stuff. They contacted her and told her not to tell anyone, but they wanted to fly her out to the Virgin Islands in the middle of all of this.
Wow. Did y'all find it out there, or was this like something y'all found out after?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay, cool.
So as she was packing to leave, she was asking, because her and JT's mom were like, they were super close. So she told JT's mom, like, hey, I'm going to the Virgin Islands to see my boo. And she was like, what? And so JT called, or JT's mom called, and when we made phone calls, our lines was recorded. Every time we made a phone call, there was a producer that listened to the phone and to our phone conversation just in case they wanted to capture something.
Mhm.
And so they talked in code. They said JT's mom was like, "Hey, there's a bird." They called her Birdie. JT's girlfriend was Birdie. They're
Mhm.
like, Bird. I'm gonna mess it up, but it was like Birdie's gonna come, is about to go on vacation, and he said, "What?" So then he called her, like, "Hey, what's this about?" And she's like, "Yeah, they asked me to come and not to say anything." And he was like, "Man, no, don't come out here." Blah 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 blah. And it did not happen. But they was messy.
Wow. Can you just imagine her coming out there and knocking on the door and she there? That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. With J, I'm sure it was a conversation between the producers and JT. Cause it wasn't, I would have been mad.
Oh, JT was livid. He was super pissed. He was kind of over it after that. After they saw what after he saw what they were trying to do, and it got to a point where we figured out how to avoid the cameras because the cameras followed us 24/7. When we went to sleep, we had cameras in our room. When we was going to campus, we had cameramen waiting on us and audio. So we would like go on campus and we would skip class like we was in high school all over because we had to actually go to class. So we would tell the teacher that oh, we're filming something today, and we would dip out. But we found out later that they had tracking devices on our audio or on our microphones, because there were times where we went somewhere and then they would show up and we was like, how'd y'all even know we was here? Like only me and JT talked about this, and it was like, and then it got to a point where like, then we found out that there was microphones in the beds, in our pillows. Like when I slept with Rachel on that last episode, second to last, whatever it was, and the bed broke, we saw the wires in the pillows. And I was like, oh, these folks is cold with it.
So going to that, Rachel wasn't nervous about all those cameras in there?
Well,
or she didn't know?
She didn't know.
You tricked her?
She knew that the cameramen were there, but she didn't know that there was microphones in the beds. And then we had little cameras hiding in the corners of the rooms. That's why I kind of got that little weird angle when you saw that, because it was like nighttime cameras, but so she didn't know. You know, a lot of, especially when you're not used to the Hollywood life and you're not used to all these cameras. The Virgin Islands are very private people. They're very they're to themselves, very family oriented. So they're not thinking that every move is on camera and all that other stuff. So when that happened, I remember her saying, she was like, am I about to be on TV? And I was like, yeah, sorry. And yeah.
How did you guys talk after the show?
Me and Rachel kept in contact for a little bit, but you know, when you live in Los Angeles and she's in the Virgin Islands, over time it just kind of like high school friends. And then after a few years, she gets into another relationship. Obviously, he don't want her associating herself
with her ex,
with the guy that is over here sleeping with her on TV, putting her on blast, especially. So yeah, that friendship dwindled.
Okay, so after College Hill, so did you get another relationship, kids, marriage?
I never got married. I do have a son. My son is actually, I had my son before I was on College Hill. My son's 19. I have a 19-year-old. Yeah, I had my son back in high school. So yeah, so that's the kid that I have. Yeah, I mean, I've been since college here, yeah, I've been in a few relationships. Nothing ever necessarily sticks, but
What about Vanessa? Try Vanessa again.
Vanessa is in Florida. Do you believe in long-term relationships? Or not long-term, long distance?
I know what you meant, but no. But you can move there. It's all about what the heart wants.
That's funny. No. Hollywood is where I make my money. Hollywood is. I've always been Hollywood. I do stand-up comedy out here. I act in commercials. I can't. I have sacrificed love and my heart in order to make money and live a different lifestyle that I want. Now, will I regret it later on in life? Maybe. Maybe I will look back and be like, man, maybe I should have taken a chance on blah, 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 blah. But I was so money hungry especially when you're like, kind of born without it, and it's life struggles. Everything is expensive, like gas. I don't know how much gas is there, but gas out here is $5 and like 20 cents a gallon. So it's like my rent. I pay $2,800 a month in rent. So I'm
you rich?
Nah. But it's like Hollywood is all I know. Entertaining is all I know. Making jokes is all I know. Could I do that in Florida? Probably isn't, but it's nowhere near as easy as it is here.
Gotcha. So you
would sacrifice money for love?
You said, I'm sorry, it was breaking up. Say it one more time.
Would you sacrifice love for money? Not just like a couple bucks, but like possibly millions. But you probably won't be in love with anyone.
Probably not. Truthfully, not saying my family was rich, but I grew up in a great family financially. I never had to want for anything. So I don't believe I would sacrifice it. Now, if I didn't come from such a great, or middle class family, then probably so. But I do have to get better time management with working and trying to have a social life.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's every entrepreneur's struggle, I feel.
Yeah.
I think it's the time management part. Because we're so busy, and if you're passionate about what you want to do, it's hard to be, when you're an entrepreneur, you can't clock in and clock out when you have a 9 to 5. Everybody is your boss because your customers are your boss. So you don't have just I can go in, clock in, then I can clock out, and I can go back home and chill with my man. Unfortunately, we don't, have that luxury. So I think it can definitely be difficult, but I also think people make time for what they want to make time for.
That is also very true.
Right one come along and he's worth my time, I believe I can rearrange it to where he can have some of my time.
Okay.
But I believe that for you, I feel like the right one gonna come and you gonna rearrange it, and she gonna be worth your time.
That might actually happen.
It might.
How did you get the name for this podcast?
Huh?
How'd you get the name for this podcast? I was wondering about that. I was looking at it and it was like,
which one? This one or my other one?
Oh, I guess do I know about the other one?
Surviving the
Mind?
You talking about Surviving the Mind, that one?
Yeah.
So in 2016, I had tried to commit suicide, and thankfully my parents got me to the hospital in time to where, I didn't die. And since about 2019, I started Surviving the Mind, to where now I have Surviving the Mind clothing, Surviving the Mind mentorship, to where I help and I mentor other girls about depression and, self-esteem and stuff like that. So now all my businesses are just called Surviving the Mind. Or in my other business is called Surviving My Suicidal Mind.
I went through that phase. I take antidepressants now. I'm Team Wellbutrin. And it's rough, especially as an entrepreneur and a person in the entertainment industry, because you deal with a lot of rejection. You deal with a lot of where you deal with failed expectations. You be like, all right, by the time I'm this age, or by the time I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna have this amount, and none of that happens. And then you start to kind of blame yourself. You start to like, what's wrong with me? And then people it's like you get all these voices in your head or from other people that's like, oh, you'll bounce back. Oh, this is, and then at a point you just want the silence. It's like, I just want to go away. And it's like the only way you can get that silence is boom. And so I've been there, I understand it. But that's why I was asking. I thought it might have been, but it wasn't clear, so I wanted to ask. Because it's something, and as a person of color, we don't like to talk about mental health and all of that other stuff. And then on top of that, I'm a preacher's kid, so
am I.
Nice. And so everybody just like, well, we just pray. I'm like, we've been praying for years, and I'm just getting darker and darker. And it's like maybe prayer don't work, man, because you feel, especially in Hollywood. Let's say you're going out for the role of XYZ, and they're auditioning 50 black guys. Obviously, none of them as handsome as me, but and it's like we're all praying for this role. We're all praying that our businesses, blah 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 blah, and then. Now, so mental health is something that we should talk about, there should be awareness of, and I don't necessarily know the stats, but I know that it's definitely harder for men of color to come out about it, because we're supposed to have this machismo about us. We don't get depressed. We just cry sometimes by ourselves in the corner of the bathroom with the shower running. But So
you believe in therapy?
I actually tried to do therapy once, but I chickened out. I guess because I never understood what therapy really is. I understand what it is. I know what it is. You go and talk to someone, and y'all try to figure things out. But I am too much of a procrastinator, and the things that I should do, I know that most of the times I will not do, because I also suffer from being a people pleaser. I am a person I'm a comedian. All I want is to make people laugh. My escape, my outlet is being goofy on College Hill. I was just doing whatever I could to make people laugh. That was like my only goal. And so that's just my people pleasing side. So in order to help myself, I would either have to hurt a lot of people's feelings. I have to cut off friends. I have to deal with backlash and all the other stuff. And I'm like, so overwhelming. I'll just deal with this craziness, and hopefully something will work out where I don't have to deal with it again, which also adds to the depression, because you want this to happen, but in order for this to happen, you have to do all these steps, and it can be overwhelming. It's very anxiety ridden, and it just adds to the frustration and adds to the point where you're like, I just want to disappear. So I do believe in therapy. I'm not saying I'm not one of those people that's like, man, therapy's for soft folks. It's like, no, I probably definitely need therapy, but when I did look, I just couldn't find the person I was looking for, and then I gave up.
No, I definitely think you gotta find a therapist for you. When it first happened, and I had a therapist, I liked her, but then she got pregnant and she stopped, and I started with somebody else, and she didn't understand black culture at all, so she didn't get it. But I am trying to find somebody else right now.
Right. Yeah. That's my. If I was to find a therapist, it would have to be a person of color, black, and also like I think I would want a woman therapist. I feel like because women are a little bit sometimes a little bit more nurturing
Mhm.
and understanding.
Mhm.
Not saying that black male therapists aren't, but just I feel like just society, and not just society. What am I talking about? I just feel like just the history of black women is always been there. Even in the slave days, they were the ones taking care of the white kids. They were
Mhm.
the ones that, and as time went on, they were the nannies. They were the ones taking care. They have a history of just taking care of single mothers, take care of the kids, and
Right.
so I would want someone to take care of me and my little fragile brain.
But going back to being a PK, I'm a
Hmm.
PK, and my grandfather was a pastor as well, and I think that comes with a different type of anxiety as well. And I don't think a lot of people understand. When our parents accept the call to being a pastor, that it can bring a lot of stress on you because it's a different type of spotlight that you have to be being a preacher's kid. So that's another thing. It's a lot of things that now that I'm older, I kind of really don't care. But on like stuff on social media that I wish I could say or I wish I could do, but I just don't because I don't want the congregation or people trying to judge me or judge my church
Hmm.
based on what I'm doing.
And I fell under that by what happened on college. While I was on College Hill, you could just imagine the type of people that was going up to my dad. We seen your son on College Hill doing shots butt naked in a pool. How you up here talking about fornicating when your son on TV breaking beds?
Hmm.
So it was a lot of that. My dad
Hmm.
actually had to do a sermon based on that, just on the idea of I can give him all the tools he needs to go through life, but if he doesn't want to build a house and he ends up building a da 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 da,
Hmm.
that's as parents, all we can do is here's what you need to do, here's your tools. And if you don't use them or you use them for another different route, then that's on you. So he had to constantly tell church members that because they were, church people are very judgy. Everybody,
Absolutely.
there's like, and me, and I've been getting flack from the church for a long time. Not in a bad way. I love all my church members as I say this, but it's like
Hmm.
I've done I had a kid at 18.
Hmm.
So it's like, you had a kid at 8. What? But yeah. And then it's like I stayed in trouble.
Hmm.
I was
They
a
say we're the worst ones.
yeah, it's not that we're the worst. We just do the same thing, just everybody got a spotlight on us. Like it's like two people could be doing the same thing, but one person has a flashlight on them, the other person just doing the same thing in the dark.
Exactly. Do you still go to church?
No,
No.
no. I want to. I uh I, s- I still say my grace over all my food. I say my scriptures at night.
Hmm.
Churches in LA are different, man. It's a because I grew up going to my dad. He was Pentecostal,
Hmm.
and they were strict.
Hmm.
It was one of the ones at the time. Like my dad became more progressive, but it was the one where women couldn't wear skirts under a certain length or over a certain length. Um,
No red nail polish, all
oh, I
that
didn't know
stuff.
about that one.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah. So when you come to LA, church is different? I'm trying to think of the safe way of saying all this because it's funny because now that I'm on HGTV, they watch all my stuff and they be like, "You can't say this," because cancel culture is a real thing. Like they're looking.
It is, unfortunately.
It is. So now I got to find colorful ways, flavorful ways of saying certain things that I really want to say. But Los Angeles, I had a conversation with someone that goes to church out here, and I was working on this as a joke. And then, like, my joke was like, "Y'all, can we agree that everybody doesn't go to heaven?" And it's like, "What do you mean?" And it's like, I had a few gangbanger friends who have passed away, and RIP, and everybody's like, "He's looking down on us right now," and I'm like, "Ooh, is that what you think he's doing? You think he's looking down?" Or there's certain ones I'm like, they love using this particular scripture that I've heard so many times. We've all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, and they believe that if they've been baptized once, that's an automatic ride to heaven. And I'm like, so you can do all this stuff that you're doing, but because you got baptized, I'm like, so heaven ain't nothing but earth.
Right.
And so it's interesting, and that's kind of a lot of the stuff that they kind of teach at a lot of the churches here. And then some of the people that's in the church have done things that I'm like, man, I don't really feel that's very God-like, I should say. You see how I'm colorfully saying all of this? But
I see what you're saying.
So I was like, man, I don't feel comfortable doing this. So what I used to do, because my dad has, he teleconferences his services. So I used to watch his services on Sundays. But my dad apparently uses Boost Mobile for their wireless carrier, for their Wi-Fi carrier. So it just breaks up the entire time. And
It's
I'm like,
a preacher thing, because my dad has a Boost Mobile phone too. His work phone is Boost. I mean, his personal phone is Boost Mobile, so it may be a preacher thing.
It might be a preacher thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't go to church out here. I don't go often, is what I should say.
I want you to try Warren Campbell. You heard of his church?
Let me see.
I'm gonna try to look it up. What's the name of their church?
Warren Campbell.
Let's see. You know Erica Campbell's husband. What's the name of their church?
I see it.
Never been, but from what I can see, I like it. Very transparent. You gotta follow me back on Instagram. I just feel like just so disrespected.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna do it now. Don't beat on me.
I'm just joking. But no, what's the name of the church? Did you find it?
Yeah, I did. What's your Instagram?
IAM, and then my first name LAMESIA. LAMESIA.
SIA. You don't even follow me.
That is not the truth.
Then why I say follow right here? And
you're right. I follow you on my business page. You're so right. Let me go do it right now. I follow you on my now. Surviving the Mind does for sure. That's facts.
Yeah, you have now been followed.
Let me go ahead and return the favor. But no, I really like them.
What do you like about them?
I think they'll be good if you listen to them or if you want to go.
What do you like about
Um, very transparent. From like I said, I haven't been there, but from what I could tell, very transparent. I think a lot of times preachers can preach about what we should do, but don't often preach about how to help us when it's a struggle.
them?
So I feel like I can speak for myself. I can relate better when people can act like we really do struggle. Because the Bible says I crucify my flesh daily. Like we go through, real stuff, and you just telling me what the Bible says. I mean, I get it, I should know it, but how are you helping me? How are you coaching me to be able to get to that better place?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I have the best pastor. But in Chicago, I'm gonna say they're probably my favorite.
Okay. I'll check
But
them out.
I want you to try it and see if you like it. And you gotta hit me back and tell me if you like it or not.
All right.
And I believe he coming back. Not
Huh?
trying to be churchy. I believe he coming back. Not trying to be too churchy, but
Oh yeah.
COVID scared me. It made me get some stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Did it scare you? I'm sure it did. It scared a lot of people. Well, maybe it didn't.
Yeah, definitely. Stop that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely scared a whole bunch of people.
Did it scare you? Like, did it like really like? Did you go into like a depression? Did it, or were you like at first? Because for me, honestly, I didn't take it serious at first.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. I did not take it serious at first, and it wasn't until my it was at one point my dad had it, my mother had it, my sister, my grandfather, and my uncle had it. So I was like, and I was the only adult going between two households, like getting groceries. Like it was in people that I know that's been saved. Didn't even listen to like R&B rap music, like saved, was dying.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh dang, I
Yeah.
gotta get myself together.
Yeah.
I was scared.
Jadis, come here. My nephew just walked in.
Oh, hi, cutie.
Say hi.
He like, I'm ready to go. He like, I don't know when to talk. I'm ready to go. But no, that's it. I mean, I really appreciate you because I know you're super busy and super famous for coming on my little show.
Nah, I'm glad I did it. We talked some stuff out. I told you some stuff that I ain't never told other people before.
Oh, that's what's up, the exclusive.
You got the exclusive. I never told anybody about the JT and them flying his girl out. Man, that's a first that I talked that out loud.
Y'all, and he said he coming to the 313, so.
And I'll be in the 313, so when I'm out there, I expect all of you all, especially to come to the show.
Me and the crew, we coming.
I appreciate that.
All right, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Surviving that storm is the next thing, huh?
Man, I tell you, it's already started raining.
Oh, I did not miss that.
Yeah.